Alrighty, welcome back to another one of our videos with Money Masterclass 101. In this video, we take you through the full breakdown and a full guide of what you need to know and understand about the two-pot retirement system in South Africa. So as a brief introduction, let's speak about what is the two-pot system. So the two-pot system came into effect in the 1st of September 2024. Now the two-pot system is looking for alleviating problems that we faced on a retirement front with the previous legislation around retirement, specifically with regards to access whilst saving up towards retirement. Now, this video is quite important for you to watch if you want to understand exactly how it works. So if you're employed, you have a pension or a provident fund, or you're self-employed or an entrepreneur and you have a retirement annuity, this video is for you. Now, before we continue, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with somebody who has a question around the two-pot retirement system. This will break it down for them perfectly. Now, first things first is we need to understand why did the system change and why did the two-pot system come into effect. So the problems with the old system was regarding access to your funding. So government implemented the two-pot retirement system to create that balance between having access to your funds as well as saving for retirement. And the two-pot system seems to alleviate that. The negative again on the two-pot system is just making sure that you don't continually withdraw, but we'll get to that a bit later in the video. Let's go through an overview of how the two-pot system works, right? The two-pot system is broken down into three components. Don't know why they didn't call it the three-pot system, but that's just a personal thought. Now, the first thing is you get your savings pot. The savings pot is the accessible portion of your retirement fund. So of the three components that you have, the savings pot will be the one that you can access, leading up to retirement as well as at retirement. Then we have the retirement pot. Now, the retirement pot is the pot specifically associated with your retirement contributions, and this is the one that will stay running until retirement, which we will then have to use to pay us a salary in retirement. Then we also have what we call the vested pot. The vested pot is all of your contributions prior to the implementation of the two-pot system. So if you've had a pension, provident, or retirement annuity for the last 10 years, let's say, all of your contributions and everything up until the last day before the 1st of September, so the 31st or the 30th of August 2024, that will be known as your vested pot. Let's go through a breakdown of the contributions and how your contributions are allocated to each pot. Firstly, your contributions will be broken down in one of two ways. 1/3 of your contribution will be going towards your savings pot. So let's say you're saving 1,500 Rand a month into your provident, pension, or retirement annuity. 1/3 of that, which is 500 Rand, would go every month into your savings pot, which will be the accessible portion. The other 2/3 will go to your retirement pot. So of the 1,500, 1,000 of that will then go through into your retirement pot every single month. As we've already mentioned, all contributions prior to the implementation of the two-pot will be known as the vested pot, and old legislation will be applicable on that amount. Now, the big one that everybody asks about is, how is my funding accessible whilst in the two-pot retirement system? So you're allowed to make one withdrawal every single year. So within that tax year, you can make one withdrawal. Now, your minimum amount that you have to withdraw, meaning that you can't withdraw less than that, is 2,000 Rand. You can withdraw more than that, but you're not allowed to withdraw less than that. And the thing around your two-pot withdrawal from your savings component is that it's taxed at your income tax rate. So if you're paying 25-30% tax on your income, that 2,000 Rand or the applicable amount that you'll be withdrawing will be taxed at that same rate. Just also remember that every single investment platform has also got an administration fee or a withdrawal fee. So after receiving your withdrawal, you'll have two deductions, your tax as well as the investment platform's fee in order to facilitate the withdrawal. The next one is what happens in the two-pot system when you retire. So leading up to retirement, we know that you do have access to your savings pot based on the rules that we've just discussed, and your two-pot needs to run until the day you retire. Let's say you reach retirement and you have funds available in your savings pot. You can choose to either withdraw them, again subject to the tax rates or the rules, or you can choose to include it in your retirement pot, which would then be used to purchase an annuity. When you reach retirement, you can choose one of two annuities, either a life or a living annuity, and this needs to be carefully considered with the help and advice of a financial advisor to make sure that you make the right decision based off of your needs and your long-term goals. Again, as we've mentioned, the funds prior to the 1st of September 2024 will carry through all the way until retirement, and the older rules will follow on that invested amount, plus all the accumulated growth. As we've already mentioned, some of the tax implications is if you withdraw leading up to retirement from your savings pot, the money will be taxed at your marginal tax rate. When getting to retirement on a withdrawal there, the normal retirement lump sum tax tables will apply. And again, going into retirement, should you opt for a living annuity, remember that a living annuity grows tax-free. You only pay tax on the income that you draw as a salary every single month. So you would have seen during the transition phase when the two-pot system was implemented that you had a once-off allocation of a maximum of 30,000 Rand or 10% of your fund value. That would get transferred as a once-off to your savings pot. The rest would then stay in the vested pot, and then all of your contributions going forward would be split in between the 1/3, 2/3, as we've already discussed. Now going through some of the pros and the cons of the two-pot system. One of the pros is that you do have access to these funds in the event of emergencies. You can touch these funds, you can withdraw them, just remember the tax and the applicable withdrawal fee that will be applied with regards to this. Some of the cons that are applicable to the two-pot system is you've always got this temptation to withdraw alongside the fees that need to take place. So from an advice perspective, always make sure that you have your emergency funding in place so that you're not tempted to withdraw from your retirement funding in order to cater for day-to-day emergencies that could arise. Some of the things that we always discuss on a regular basis is, should you withdraw from your savings pot? Well, it all depends. It depends on your financial situation, it depends if you've run into an emergency, and it depends if you really need the money. As I've mentioned in point number 9, always make sure that you have emergency funding available so you're not forced to withdraw from your retirement funding, causing a lot more fees than anticipated in the form of tax and the withdrawal fee. Now, how do we plan for retirement under the new rules? Well, you need to sit down with a financial planner and get proper advice based on your situation to make sure that you make the right decision based on the rules and what happens in the two-pot system. As an overall rule, always make sure that you have accessible funds via means of saving in the bank or having a conservatively structured unit trust to cater for emergencies and focusing on your retirement planning in isolation. If you would like to supplement your retirement planning, consider looking into a tax-free savings account, which has got its own limits and rules to help you supplement your shortfalls on retirement and cater for that lump sum withdrawal upon retirement, opposed to you taking the lump sum withdrawal from your retirement funding, thus causing tax implications and you losing funds. Now, the two-pot system, who's affected and who's not affected? Well, absolutely everybody who has got any form of pension products in place leading up to retirement will be affected by the two-pot system. There are some instances with preservation funds that you will not be affected. We can discuss that at a later stage. Now, some of the frequent questions that I do get around this is, can I withdraw from my savings component every month? The answer is no. You're only allowed one withdrawal in the tax year, of which the minimum has to be 2,000 Rand or more. Another question we get is, will the old fund change? and there's no change to the old fund or the old contributions prior to the two-pot implementation, other than the once-off allocation of either 10% or the maximum of 30,000, which was allocated to the savings. Everything from there will continue as is, as we've discussed, known as the vested pot. Another question as well is there anything that you need to do right now? And in essence, no, the changes have been made for every member that is part of a pension, provident, or retirement annuity. There's nothing that you need to do from your side, unless there was a preservation fund based on the rules we've discussed. You would have received communication from your investment platform with regards to that. If you're wondering where to get help and what other steps you need to take with regards to your retirement funding, make sure to speak to a registered financial advisor to help you with your investment planning, having a look at your retirement analysis, making sure that you're saving enough, you're benefiting from the tax-free portion, and you're in the appropriate funds based on your risk appetite so that you can reach a successful retirement. If you've also wondered around retirement annuities as a collective, make sure to watch this next video where I delve into everything you need to know about a retirement annuity. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone who has a question on anything retirement planning and the two-pot system. Until next time, cheers.